Hey guys, welcome to Akerne Orchids. And today, I know what you're here for. There's going to be an unboxing. This time around it's going to be from the Belgian orchid nursery called Akerne. Here in Sweden, when you say the name Akerne, we refer to the rain mix. I'm going to show that little can for you. Keep it here. Akerne rain mix. So, what's this for? Do we need to use rainwater for getting the maximum out of this fertilizer? No, you can even use soft water. And that's exactly what I'm having here in my apartment. Soft city water. So I figured, why not? This is complete fertilizer, which contains loads of heavy stuff. No, but a good deal of minerals. Yes. A little bit pink. The water turns pink in color when you add it. And I've been using this one for virtually all of my orchids all year round. And it proved to be quite efficient, especially for the ones grown in semi-hydroponics. So, yeah, this concept I will never, ever switch to anything else. But now in summer and all, I would like to have a little bit higher values to the nitrogen and phosphorus. So I'm using another fertilizer every now and then for the moment. But soon it's going to be this one again. For the ones growing in organic medium. As this is a tiny box, I got it for free at the orchid show in September last year. It's only halfway full, or halfway empty, whichever you prefer. So I just figured, why not get a big jar of this 1 kilogram instead of 400 grams. Last time I ordered from Akerne, this was the only thing I ordered. 1 kilogram of this rain mix. Since I didn't find any orchids that fancied me at a time. But this time around, as I was searching for the fertilizer in the web shop, I even searched the orchids and the rest of the types of plants they have in stock, or had. And I did find a couple of plants which really interested me, so I added a couple of plants to my order. One of the genuses will be the, I wrote down a couple of notes here, Tricopilia. That's how it's supposed to be pronounced, Tricopilia. So, that's a genus. Maybe you heard of it before. Erect leaves on quite round pseudobulbs, which creates its flowers from the base, arching over the brim of the pot. Looks like oblong bells. Yeah. Anyways, I do have a Tricopilia already from the orchid show last September, of course, or else. It's in my cabinet over there. So I'm going to show you that one before we dig into this box, just for fun, yeah? So, as you can see, it's not the tiniest of plants. There is. But there are varieties or species with a lot smaller leaves and pseudobulbs. I bought this one in bud, but it didn't take long before it aborted both of its spikes, or blasted its buds, or whatever it was. So, and as I've read that it doesn't like really to get its roots disturbed, I just figured, well, yeah, I'm gonna do a soft repotting on her. So I did, but still keep it in a relatively narrow pot. As I've heard, that the narrower the pot, the more likely it is to put out an abundance of inflorescence. But it's got roots. Looks healthy, plump still. I think, yeah, this is the latest one. A lot taller. I don't know if that's a good sign, but I will become aware in due time. If it blooms in autumn, as this one tried to do last time, or if it's going to bloom some other time period, I'm not sure. I didn't gather the correct information on when they're supposed to bloom, so. But this one tried to bloom in September, so maybe autumn is the Tricopilia's time. Not sure. Yeah, what is it? This one is Tricopilia Hennessiana. And this one I got from Ecuador, Europe. Yeah. So this is what a Tricopilia may look like. Maybe this one is especially large. Whoa. Yeah, looks like it's been very neatly packed. So there's not a huge jar with fertilizer bouncing around in this package, destroying all of the plants. For a moment I was afraid that would happen, but then I realized that there are professionals and I'm not. Yeah. And I have faith in other people, yeah. So, what's this beautiful little thing? Ah! It's in Swedish, that's great. That's what the rain mix contains. It's an utterly complete fertilizer. That's nice, I can save it for later, some other time. Let's not just tilt this video camera and we shall see. This is a large plant. This is 1 kilogram of this rain mix. So now it's safe again. And it's real quick delivery. 2 days. Everything just went so smoothly. So, and shipping cost wasn't that high. €21. That's not so bad anymore. This far, I fancied everything with this order. Now let's just see if the orchids are gonna keep the same level. Yes. So, now, I have my suspicions. What this is, you guys do not know. Yay. Still, very neatly. It's even got a good amount of shredded paper. So they actually really did the best to provide this orchid the safest shipping possible. Do you recognize the type? The genus? Yay. Cattleya Shy. It's a beautiful medium-sized Cattleya species from Colombia, that region. Also referred to as Schroeder's Cattleya. Can grow flowers as wide as 22.5 centimeters. And relatively similar to the Trianae, but it's got a lot larger blooms. But if you view pictures of it on Google, you find that there are rose pink varieties, and there are also, I think, light purple-ish or such. Purple shaded, maybe. So I would like this one to be the light rose pink one. But if it isn't, it will be beautiful anyways. I lost my old Schroeder one I had 10 years ago. This one is known for its crisp petals. Its flowers are especially beautiful, really. So, what I think about this plant, really. Let's see now. It's, let's see, second tag. What's going on here? Let's just say Belgian, Akerne, stuff. Doesn't matter. But, yeah. It's, just say that this one, I wouldn't call this one a medium-sized Cattleya. But surely is a division, and it surely may be quite recently imported. This latest one, obviously, you can see that she's still there to the cane, is putting out to relatively weak growth. And that's an indication on it not being established yet. So it hasn't acclimatized, so it's still going to be some time before it does, as it's now changed conditions again. But it's a decent plant, and it's been blooming naturally with this huge cane. So, and after that one, these 3 tinier ones have been produced. So, I think I'll have to wait about 2 years for her to start creating large, beautiful, good-sized canes, which it will bloom from. So it will take her some time to establish. But other than that, it's a good plant. Not much to complain about, really. And she's got roots, even though not in growing state, but there will be a couple of more roots. If I remember it correctly, her newest growth are of the kind that puts out new roots after they almost matured, or matured, as you can see. No new roots down there yet. So, they work in different ways, the Cattleya orchids. And that was a nice plant. Now she's back in my collection. I'm starting to feel that my collection is more complete. I know, you know. A little plant, yeah. What can it be? It's always so exciting. So nicely packed. I love this nursery. Look. Yeah. I think I know what it is. It's something a friend of mine is growing so nicely. And I got a little bit envious. No. I'm happy for her, of course I am. But I wanted one for myself and I didn't get it. Why? I had the chance. So, I regretted I didn't buy a... Let's see now. What's this called? I wrote it down somewhere. Sarcochilus. Sarcochilus. Yeah, Sarcotylus. Look, such a good growing state this plant is in. Yeah. Look. This is a perfect time for repotting. I cannot stay in this ugly pot, can it? But what is it? Yeah. Sarcochilus. Culnura ultimate. Yeah. It is a hybrid. And what about the Sarcochilus? Yeah, it's a vandaceous type orchid. Or Aridae, if you read about it. Google it. And the sarc, the part sarc, means flesh. And chelos means lips. So fleshy lips, yeah, referring to the flower, yeah, column. And grows in Australia and New Caledonia. You can grow it in bright shade, yeah, intermediate light, shall we say, as well as under intermediate to cool conditions. So naturally you will have to reduce the water and fertilize and water it a lot, whilst in active growth during the summer month. This is correct. This is June, and it's the first summer month. Yes, as every season is divided into 3 months. Otherwise, there wouldn't be 4 seasons, would it? So, first summer month, and it looks like this. And what's the little thingy down there? Yeah, it's capable of creating kikis down to the base as well. So, in due time, this plant will be relatively wide. This is a monopolia one. So it will grow several fans next to each other. Yeah, I can give you an example. Just like this Paphiopedilum. Saint Swithin, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 growing next to each other. Yeah, I think you see my point by now. I don't need to stress it any further, I suppose. This is a strange comparison. Beautiful flowers on this one. Relatively good price. This is not a tiny plant. I think it's a right size. This lovely stage of growing. This is what the Sarcotylus, I already forgot. Culnura ultimate looks like. Root-wise. So it's alive. Down here. Down to here. I mean, so I can cut the end bit off. As I said, good roots coming. This one is totally dead. That one as well, as you can see. But overall, I'm satisfied. So let's get her down into this hanging basket. For a moment, for a weak moment, I'd say. I was thinking about putting these two guys, my new Sarcochilus, together in a community pot, but no. It's going to be this way, as I do not know the growing stage of the roots. A couple of plants left, so I'm going to be a little bit more quick, but today I just like to ramble about and blah blah blah. Sorry, but yeah. I just have to have a sip of coffee this late, you may think, but my body doesn't care. I can drink coffee. I can drink coffee any time of the day. I can wake up in the middle of the night and have a sip of coffee. I won't disturb my night's sleep. So just a little sip. As I was a real sweet tooth before, but I quit sweets and stuff and sodas and all. Last September, I haven't had one single piece or teaspoon of sugar, not even honey. So I've become addicted to coffee instead, but I figured that's a better addiction. So just couldn't resist making myself a cup of coffee this late. But anyways, look, this is Sarcotylus. So that C is actually a K in a way. Fitzhart. Yeah, you're right. It's a cross between at least the Hartmanniae, very common species, a very beautiful one. But this one should be more easy to grow. As you can see, it's a well-grown, relatively tall, good-sized plant. And it's got something else in it, and I will write it down here. And look at its beautiful flowers. So similar to the Hartmanniae, the species. So it's a nice, I hope, these aren't scale, And, another little growth there, and getting into growing state. This new growth is there. The leaf isn't as great, but never mind. It's popping out of the pot, so it needs a repot, but I can see, another new growth there. I think. Was it the same one? No, it's got two new growth coming, so this plant is going to be growing like this sideways. New fans next to the old one. So it's an interesting growing habit. I wonder if the cool to intermediate temperatures this one would need to bloom for you, if that info is correct. Hope not. Yeah, as you can see, two plants with several new growth on each. Probably, it's been blooming. 2 or even 3 old spikes. So, but what about the rest of the root system? It's all right. It's branching there, so there's still some life into them. But it's wet, a little bit damp, like always. No, I don't like the fact that it's damp up here. Almost a dead root. Whilst it's branching down there, so. But anyways, it's not so bad. I've seen worse. But who would have thought that the smaller one had the best root system? So, perlite, ready mix bark, and charcoal. Similar type of medium. Stick this one up to both sides so it won't bobble around, as it hasn't got any roots really. A couple on the way, as you saw, but no long roots left. This one, on the other hand, had one long, good, relatively alright root, but a whole bunch of new ones coming, so they're gonna go down there in no time. But I'm going to be very careful with the watering for at least a couple of weeks now, from now on. So I'm going to spray the surface around the rim of the pot, especially to this one, with the tiny growth there, so they won't rot to the base. Ta-da! Next plant up on the table. I have to excuse my enthusiasm, but feel so happy today. I've got loads of energy. So, why not just share it with you guys? My excess energy! Yay! It's 11 p.m. and I still got energy of 3 hours sleep last night. I don't know what's gotten into me, but it feels great. Now, this one is, yeah, you surely recognize it as a Tricopilia. This Maxillaria subtribe orchid, this epiphyte, order all year round. And I think I read somewhere that the Tricopilia has got 45 different species in its genus. So, I don't know what is sitting in. I can see that it's bark, but if there's anything else down there which needs to be replaced. But I'm not so sure about it. But I'm not so sure about that it can stay in this large grade bark either. It may become too dry in my conditions. Or maybe not. Depends on where I choose to put it. Yeah. I recently acquired a new humidifier for my kitchen area. So maybe that one will help. But I don't think I need to repot it. Look, there's plenty of space to the front side of this new growth. It looks like it's creating a second new growth there. Did I even tell you guys what it was? Tricopilia Suavis. It's one of the most beautiful ones out there. One of my favorite ones. I had one before. I think I must have lost it. Or it dropped its leaves. But it was a tiny plant. Really, really tiny seedling. Cheap one. From Orchid Garden or such, maybe. I'm not sure. Or maybe Sverta. Anyways, this is a lot better plant than the one I received last time from the other nurseries. So, €22, or is it 28? Either way, it's cheap for this beautiful, species. This time, it's not a hybrid. The Suavis. One of the best looking flowers, best colored flowers of the Tricopilias out there, I think. There's only one Tricopilia missing right now for the moment when I'm recording this video, and that one would be the Coccinea. Maybe I'm gonna get that one. I know just where to find it. I know the real source. So, yeah, enough talk. Let's dig into the box again. Yes, satisfied with this orchid. Really, really good plant. Now look how easily its leaves will become dehydrated. Doesn't take long. I guess this is the way they look, so have to make do with it. Hope this one will bloom, yeah? So, let's see now. We only got these two guys left. These guys really care about the customers. I would like to give them a good review. If I can, if I'm able, somewhere on the website. Probably I can. Since this far, with only one orchid left to unwrap, yeah. All of the rest of the plants have been good this far. As I can tell that this plant is just as great as the ones before, except for this leaf. But a leaf is a leaf. Nothing to write home about, really. Look. 2 new growth. Look a little bit tinier than the previous ones, but probably still establishing and acclimatizing. But it's a gorgeous Cricopilia. Yeah. A patch. It's also a hybrid. Probably, or hopefully, easier to bloom in the home environment. Time will tell, I guess. Still some space here. She looks fine. I don't think I need to repot them, as they don't like to be repotted, really, to get the roots disturbed. I don't really see a reason to do it, as I can't see any new roots coming yet, so it's just stupid of me to dig in there. I can add a little bit of little something on top here, perhaps. Look, very good sized plants, and very nicely looking flowers on this one. Yeah, happy for that one as well. Yeah. So, da 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 da. Ha! I actually got this one as well. Yeah, I did get 3 Tricopilias, Becky and Rue. As they all came at a relatively good price, and I just couldn't decide. So I just, well, I don't know. It's coming out of this part. Yeah, it's all right. It's gonna be all right, of course. New growth there. Just waiting for a couple of roots. So yeah, coming there. Yeah, it's a little bit damp here, so. But overall, it's not a bad plant. Yeah, I think it needs to be a little bit more hydrated from now on. And a couple of new roots there won't hurt. But other than that, just looks like a Tricopilia. Just put it down there. Now, I think I'm going to spray them with pesticide, all of them. Anyways, so now, before I go to bed, so they can have a good chance to sit there on my kitchen table underneath the ceiling fan, which is virtually always switched on, and dry off. That's my intention, at least. So I'm going to be protected from nasty bugs coming in through my balcony door each summer. Nasty little black oblong creatures gets to my flowers, so I need to be really, really observative at this time period, since it's way too hot without the balcony door opened, fully opened, the whole day through. So I can't really avoid them, the creatures, from flying in from outside, from outdoors. So I need to spray them, all of my plants, on a regular basis. And yeah, this far it's been working relatively nicely. Yeah, I'm on the right track with my orchid growing again, thanks to the great pesticide I found. So, see my systemic. So here's the finished results of the Tricopilias. Cut off the dry roots, choke off most part of the bark. Save the bark, which didn't fall off by itself, and added ready mixed bark mixed up with charcoal and perlite. Yeah, in a frosted container, into a black container, so there won't be any algae buildup like usual. And same concept for all of them. So I did softy on all 3 of them, in a sense. I didn't disturb the newest roots, but they aren't really in active growth, neither of them. So it may be a challenge, but they are in new growth, but not in active root growth. That was what I was referring to. So there will soon be roots, so that's why I did it. I didn't wait. So let us see where to put them. I don't seem to have a lot of space left. You need to have a relatively huge sense of imagination. So, just a second, I'm going to show you guys where I put them. Yes, sirree. Here, underneath the good lights. A bit covered. I'm going to sit for a while until I get another one a little bit larger, so I can fit them all. But I know the guy who's selling these handcrafted baskets, so I can get another one from him. So it's going to be neat, very neat. And the other one, my old one, is there. And Sarcotylus hanging here, a little bit more shaded, protected from the sun rays, but still some good lights. For now, yes, for now. And the Sherdery is going to sit up there. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe we should talk soon. And if you like this video, of course, give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to this channel. I could use a couple of more followers. Yes, I really can. It would be fun as well, so thank you if you will. And anyways, whatever you choose, have a good day. Bye-bye, guys.